Shalom Aleichem. Mishnah Yomi is holding in chapter 6 of Shevuot, Mishnah Zayin, Mishnah 7. A malve et chavero, someone lent money to his buddy, ala mashkon, on collateral. So he gave him money, and it was secured with a gold watch or whatever pawn or collateral he gave. V'ava the mashkon. And then the mashkon was lost from the house of the lender. They go to court. Amar lo, he tells him, Sela hiviticha lov, I lent you a sela on this collateral, the shekel hayashave, and this collateral was worth a shekel, half a sela, 2 shekel to a sela. So he's basically saying, you still owe me a shekel, because the mashkon, the collateral, was lost from the house of the lender. It's as if he was paid back. He's not going to get paid for that half, but he says, you still owe me the other half, the other shekel out of the sela. Hola amer, the borrower says, loiki, that's not right. He says, ela sela hivitani alav, you lent me a sela on the mashkon, v'sela hayashava, and that gold watch was really worth a sela. Potter, he does not make a shvuah of modeh b'miksat, he's not admitting anything. But in the similar case, sela hiviticha alav, I lent you a sela on the collateral, v'shekel hayashava, it was worth half a sela, v'hola amer, and the borrower says, loi ki ela sela hivitana alav, no, you lent me a sela on the collateral, shlosha dinarim hayashava, and it was worth 3 dinar, which is 3/4 of a sela. So now he's basically saying, I still owe 1 dinar to make you even. Chayav. He has to make a shvuah modeh b'miktsas that he does not owe more. And we're going to see at the end of the Mishnah, we actually make the lender make a shvuat hesed, a rabbinical oath that he does not have the mashkon, that the mashkon was indeed permanently lost or stolen. He's not hiding it somewhere to then when the borrower claims it was worth a certain amount, then he could pull it out and say, see, it's not worth very much, you owe me more. And for now, the Mishnah brings a similar case where the mashkon's more valuable. He says, Sela hilvi tani alav, I lent you a sela on the collateral, shtayim hayashava, but this gold watch was actually worth 2 sela. Hala omer, lo ki ela sela hilvi ticha alav, you lent me a sela on this collateral, v'sela hayashava. It was actually worth a sela. So what the borrower is saying is, my collateral was worth more than the loan, so you owe me the difference because the collateral was lost or stolen from your house. And now the lender is saying, no, the collateral is worth the same amount of the loan, so you don't owe me anything on the loan, but I don't owe you any refunds for the extra value of the collateral. Potter. So the lender here is potter from making an oath. He has not admitted any partial liability. Now, a similar case, sela hilvi tani alav, you lent me a sela on the collateral, shtayim hayashava, it was worth 2 sela. V'hola omer, and the lender says, loiki ela sela hilvi ticha alav, yes, I lent you a sela on this collateral, but it wasn't worth 2 sela. Chamisha dinarim hayashava, it was actually worth 5 dinar, which is a sela and 1/4. So now he's admitting partial liability. He's basically saying, I owe you 3 more dinar to make you whole because the collateral was lost or stolen from my place. Chayiv, he has to make an oath. He is modeh b'miktsas. He's admitting part of the claim. Now the Mishnah concludes with what I alluded to earlier. Mi nishpa, who makes the oath first? Misha pikadon etzlo, the one who is holding on to the collateral. So if the lender was holding the collateral, he has to make a shvuah hesed, a rabbinical oath, that he does not have it in his possession at all. Otherwise, we're worried, as I said, he might pull it out and say, no, this is the real value. We can see the real value is not what you're claiming. Shema yeshavazeh, as the Mishnah explains, like I just did, lest the borrower make the shvuah first, v'yotzi halal pikadon, and the lender will pull out the pikadon and say, your assessment of the value was totally wrong. So rabbinically, the lender is required to swear he does not have the mashkon in possession, and then the borrower will make a shvuah. He will swear how much it was worth, and they can resolve the discrepancy in value. Now let's go on to chapter 7. Now chapter 7 introduces more about rabbinical oaths, and it starts, Kol nishbain shebatorah, all of the people who need to make an oath because of the Torah, like modeh b'miktsat, as we discussed yesterday, and the shomrim, the guardians, nishpain v'lo meshalmin, they make an oath and they don't have to pay any money. Ve'elu nishpain v'notlin, but there are these rabbinical oaths where people can make an oath and actually collect money. Now the rest of the chapter is going to explain these, so this is sort of a table of contents. A sochir, a worker, v'hanigzal, someone who got robbed by a gazlan, Vanechbal, someone who is injured and is owed compensation for the damage. Kishenegdo chashel shvua, or someone who the other party in court is suspected of being one who makes false oaths. They don't let him make an oath if he's suspected of that. V'chanvani al pinkaso, and a storekeeper who keeps an account. His pinkas is like his account book, his ledger. Now, the Mishnah explains the case of the sachir. It's lashon schar, payment. He's a hired worker. Haschir ketzad. What are we talking about? Amar lo, the worker tells the boss, ten li schari, give me my wages. Sheyesh li biyodcha, that you owe to me, that you have in your hand still. Wahu omer natati, he says, I already gave it to you. Hal omer natati, he says, I didn't get paid. Hu nishba v'notel, he can make an oath that he has not been paid and actually collect his wages. Now in the Gemara they explain this is only on the same day, on payday. If somebody's a day worker, he needs to be paid on the same day. That's a mitzvah in the Torah. So on that day, he's believed to come and collect. And the other issue here is the employer, the boss, is busy on payday with a lot of workers, and he might not remember exactly who got paid yet and who did not. So rabbinically, we give ne'amanis, we give trust to the worker who's claiming he didn't get paid, that if he's willing to take an oath, we would let him get paid. Rabbi Yehuda qualifies this. He says, Ajit he sham miktzat hoda. We don't let him take an oath and get paid unless there's a partial admission by the employer. And that makes it a little bit like the modeh b'miktzat scenario, which is a deraita, a biblical level shvua. Ketzad, how does this work? Amar lo tenli schari, the worker says, please give me my paycheck. Chamishim dinar, sheish li biyadacha. It's 50 silver dinar that you owe me. V'hu omer, and the boss says, hitkabalta dinar zahav. I gave you a gold dinar. Now, gold dinar is worth 25 silver dinar. So the employer is telling him, I've paid you half. I've paid you the value of 25 dinar out of your wage of 50. So now, since the employer is still admitting he still owes some money, it's modeh b'miktzat, and typically the biblical level modeh b'miktzat, the employer would swear he doesn't owe anything else, and he'll be patur, he wouldn't have to pay. But since he's busy on payday with multiple workers, rabbinically we allow the worker to make the shvua instead, that he has not yet been paid the rest of the amount, and he can collect the rest of his wages. Tizkulu mitzvot.